Hey everyone. Ah. Hey, Alan here. And today I'm going to be talking about Clarice Lispector, the Apprenticeship, or the Book of Pleasure. And it is also subtitled, Clarice is a wordsmith, if you didn't know. She has three epigrams, one from Revelation 4:1 that I could read, another one from a Roman guy, well, maybe not, another one from Paul Claudel from his Liberato. But I won't read this note from C.L. Clarice Lispector. Note, this book demanded a greater liberty that I was afraid to give. It is far above me. Humbly, I tried to write it. I am stronger than I. So that's the type of syntax you're dealing with in a Clarice Lispector novel. Now, before the first word, well, there happens to be a comma before the first word of the novel, which reminds me of Finnegan's Wake. And just to end this thought, the book ends with a colon. Can you see that? Get it in focus. I think you can see that, right? But so it's a circumnavigation. It's the end is in the beginning. But before the first word is a comma, but there's also two other titles. And the first title is The Origin of Spring, which, hope springs eternal. Spring is when the birds and the bees, renewal, things starting again, or the necessary death in the middle of the day. So then we open up to this first paragraph, and the first couple paragraphs are unconventionally written, to say the least. See how there's the paragraph will begin with a lowercase letter, kind of like a run-on sentence. So that goes on for this first chapter. All kinds of weirdness. The condition can't be cured, but the fear of the condition is curable. We're introduced to another character named Ulysses. Let me do a sidebar here, or a digression, about Joyce and Lispector. Now, Lispector claimed to have never read any Joyce, which I find hard to believe. In fact, one of her novels, I've read 6 of her novels now, and a book of short stories, Family Ties. But in, now I'm going to blank on Near the Wild Heart, is a direct quote from a portrait of the artist as a young man. And she does other Joycean tricks too. I mean, she's known as a sphinx, a sorceress, a sacred monster. So early on, we know that this is going to be a love interest. She's met this philosophy professor, Ulysses, and who comes off as kind of chauvinistic or old school, set in his ways, controlling. He certainly seems to spin a spell on Lori, the other main character in this. It was then that Ulysses had turned up in her life. He who had been interested in Lori only because of desire was now seeming to see how out of reach she was. And more than that, not just out of reach for him, but for herself and for the world. She was living off a tightness in her chest, life. It's when their meetings had begun. Now, Una likes to say that you cannot spoil a Clarice Lispector novel. He pronounces her name Clarice because online YouTube, there's an example of I think a Portuguese man pronouncing it that way, so it's probably correct. But I'm just going to stick with Clarice. But it takes a long time before they finally come together, as it were. It takes exactly 129 pages. She's known for relatively short novels. This one is only 100 and there's a afterword in this book, so I don't want to get that. This one is 142 pages. So it takes her 129 pages for then her heart pounded even faster and louder because she realized she wouldn't put it off any longer. It would be tonight. And let's see, we have like what came to her was the slightly shocking certainty that our feelings and thoughts were as supernatural as a story that takes place after death. A lot of death in the Lispector novels. A lot of seriousness, a lot of introspection. Basically, another spoiler that you can't spoil in a Lispector novel. This Svengeli-like Ulysses puts demands on Lori. And, well, does he? Or is it Lori putting demands on herself in lieu of Ulysses? I don't know. I think it's a good end to Lispector. It's a good place to start. It's written relatively simply for the Lispector novel. I would like to reread it. I did read this with a Voxer group. We have a Lispector group, and Roz at Skeledandling about the books, Una at the Codex Cantina, and we added Fraser. And I'll put links to all their channels below. What's next? We're going to be reading the Besieged City next. So let me know if you're interested in reading Lispector, or if you've read The Apprenticeship or the Book of Pleasures. It's like if anticipation is pleasurable, then this is a book of pleasures. How about I leave it at that? What else am I reading? I'm getting ready to finish both of these novels. I'm one of those readers that when I get to the end of the book, a great novel, I don't want it to end. This is a reread for me. This is a group read for me. This is a buddy read with Greg and another bibliophile reads. But I've still got Lord. Woo! I've got about 90 pages left on this. And this is a real pleasure. I've got about 50 pages left. I'll finish it tomorrow. The Magic Mountain. Great novel. So, make a comment. I'll reply. Let me know what's up with y'all. All right, later.